So, Asha, I do a lot of reading, and I think people that want to be successful and great leaders do a lot of reading. And one of the things that I came across this past week was a really interesting perspective on the value of play. And it was kind of unique because this particular individual, and I won't quote it because I can't say it verbatim, but essentially the effort that they were saying was that, we never really grow up. We just try on the adult costume. And somehow along the way, we lose our playfulness. And I think that you probably see this with a lot of the folks that you work with, where the drudgery of being an adult takes away from the possibility of the inner child, that curiosity and that engagement that we once had. How do you address that with your clients?
This is huge. I find that a lot. I mean, and it's normal, right? We think, oh my gosh, I'm an adult. I have to be responsible. I have to
Yeah.
be serious. I have to just, do everything just perfectly. And I mean, it's not true. Actually, tapping into that inner child, awakening that inner child is really key. It's funny because I was just working with somebody a couple of weeks ago, and he was just so stressed out. And I mean, you could just feel it. As soon as you start talking to it, you just
Yeah.
feel this heaviness. And I started just cracking just silly jokes, as I do sometimes, just making fun of some things. And I kind of got a laugh, and then he just, went back to the seriousness. And we were talking about something that's going on in his business. And I just started using the words, well, I wonder if you thought about
Mm.
it this way. And I wonder if you did. And he just said, you say that a lot. And I said, well, think about whenever you were a little kid. Didn't you wonder a lot about a lot of things? Like,
Yeah.
get into that state of mind and tap into that inner child. And we ended up that session just laughing. I mean, it was so great because he got the answers that he was looking for by just unleashing that inner child a little bit to kind of wonder, be in this wonderment. And so I find that this is something that's really key,
Yeah.
um, to kind of tap into that. But I mean, Steve, what do you, when you're working with your clients, how do you advise them to kind of get into that playfulness? Because some people are very resistant with it, and I understand it. I
Yeah,
understand it. Have like a
absolutely.
serious, yeah,
I think people struggle with it because they think that, that was, when you do things that are playful, you tend to feel like maybe you're acting immature, or it
right,
doesn't have a place in a professional setting, or in your adult life. And it's just not true. Much like what you were talking about, I wonder is a perfect way to get people thinking through that perspective of,
right,
hey, we're not saying we're doing this, but I wonder if we tried this, how it might
yeah,
work out. Those kinds of things are really powerful. And I think that it gives people a connection back to the time where everything was a mystery and everything was a potential. There was just so much perspective that you as a child want to take in, that you're open to anything and everything, and you can just play without any without any expectation of the result necessarily, which led you
hmm,
to all sorts of creative, fun things. And somehow we just lost that. And very much like what that author was implying was the fact that
right,
you feel like you have to put that in a drawer and then you have to put on your adult costume, and that no longer is valuable. But some of the most successful people I know utilize a big portion of their day in play. Warren
yes,
Buffett apparently spends a great deal of time working on quizzes and puzzles because
yeah,
that has kept his mind sharp. I know that many of the entrepreneurs out there, Steve Jobs and Steven Spielberg, which really had a really significant hand in Pixar, which created the Toy Story movies,
hmm,
surround themselves with things that they like to fiddle with and play with, because it
yeah,
takes their mind off the problem at hand and allows them to just kind of mentally reset, and opens up a whole lot of opportunities to be creative. And so there's just countless stories about
yeah,
what play can bring to your professional career. It's a great way to solve problems. It's a great way to brainstorm. I tell my clients, surround yourself with toys or things that you remember back to your childhood that were important to you, that really opened up your perspective, and put one of those
Yeah.
on your desk. Go acquire it again. Find it from your parents' house, whatever it is. But there's just this, it becomes an anchor point and a reminder that play is a good thing and it can open up a world of possibilities for you.
Absolutely, Steve. I was thinking about the fact that your desk is filled with play. I just got that picture in my head.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like,
Well, I'm in the more professional desk right now, but yes, I do have
oh,
some. I mean, I do have my fidget spinner right here
yeah,
and my Darth Vader.
of course, of course.
You're right, though. I mean, I'm like a child.
No, but you know what? I think there is something that is invigorating about that. There's something just so, like, you get so much more energy. One of the things that I like to do, like, you can do an activity. Like, I know that this is something that for everybody it's different, but like jump, I have a client actually, she like skips rope. She doesn't jump rope like, like a serious adult would. She like really skips rope whenever she's having like a mental block
Yeah.
of creativity. She's just like, okay, I got to get up and I got to get my jump rope. And she has this really funny pink jump rope with like little frills on it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
seriously. And it's something that really helps her get energy. She'll do that for 5 minutes and she'll get back to her desk and she's like, I'm there. My creativity is open. So don't be afraid to do it. I mean, just because we're in adult bodies does not mean that that inner child is not still there. And learning to nurture that and really cultivate that is going to really help you with your business.